Greetings, fellow ukuleleans. Jeff Weinberger coming at you here with a new tutorial. I'd like to talk today about the C Mixolydian mode. I talked about the D Dorian mode previous to this a few weeks ago, and I'd like to get into a different mode, and it's called C Mixolydian. It's a really familiar sound. You've probably heard it before. I just improvised that intro that was based on some British folk music I've been listening to. She Moved Through the Fair and various tunes like that, some different things by Jimmy Page and other British people like Bert Yance and John Renbourn, Pentangle, Richard Thompson. Mixolydian is a big part of that sound, that kind of Scots-Irish, Celtic, British Isles music sound, however you label it. Nick Drake was kind of in that scene too. And you had Sandy Denny and people like that. We sometimes associate Mixolydian a little bit more maybe with blues, with funk, with Caribbean music. It's a part of all of those musics too. But I was especially influenced by some British music I'd been hearing lately, and so I wanted to talk about the Mixolydian mode. So what is it? It's just like the C major scale, the C Mixolydian mode, but you flat the 7th degree. So instead of a B note, you have a B flat note. That gives it its characteristic sound, that kind of haunting sound that it has. Or in some situations, it can be bluesy or funky. So, B flat instead of B. Open C string. D on the 2nd fret of the C string. Open E string. F on the 1st fret of the E string. G at the 3rd fret of the E string. Open A, 1st fret A, very important, there's the B flat note, the characteristic note of this mode, and finally 3rd fret C on the A string. So all together, C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C. Very characteristic chord progression that would go with the C Mixolydian mode would be C to B flat. And we hear that in a lot of tunes, not just British folk tunes, but you can hear that in stuff like Neil Young, Comes a Time. Or you're going to hear it in Tequila, that old 50s instrumental Tequila with the saxophone. Stuff like that. It's a very common mode. So don't think this is only for British folk music. It can be lots of things. Amy, that song way back in the day. What was that? The Pure Prairie League, Amy. That was a pretty popular acoustic country rock song. And that's got that Mixolydian sound to it. So, when you're doing the chords C and B flat, that lends itself really well to this scale. So say we laid down a rhythm track and we just went. The C Mixolydian mode is the perfect one to jam on top of that or to invent melodies with. Another chord that goes with this is F. So a lot of songs go C, B flat, F, back to C. So it doesn't have to be all Britishy and folksy. It can be kind of rock. That can be like a Boston song from the 70s or something like that. If you're looking for the mode higher up the neck, if you're not necessarily just wanting to be playing it here, and you're also looking for chord voicings up there, let's go over that a little bit too. So just like a C major scale can be played up the neck, the C Mixolydian mode can be. You have to change your B's to B flats. Here's what I'm doing. Open C string, D at the 2nd fret of the C string, but now I'm doing E as a fretted note, not an open string. That would be 4th fret of the C string. F at the 5th fret of the C string, so a bunch of notes on the C string. All this will be tabbed out, of course. I'm going to put this on Patreon, put a link down below to it, and you will be able to access this without any trouble whatsoever.